Taking this in a different approach from what I have in the other years, because I really want to collaborate with my future. I think one of the exciting things about this new little Solmanac vlogging project is that you don't know where exactly it's headed. And I think that there is value in sharing this way of seeing the world, because everything's changing. At the end of the day, we are still human beings. We are still social creatures. We are still pack animals. Hey, you beautiful haunted romantics. Welcome back. And this is going to be a little something different, kind of exciting. That is one of the most perfect pumpkins, by the way. I couldn't bring myself to carve it because, as you know, pumpkins will stay with you for a very long time if you just keep them as they are. And when you find one that perfect, you can't make a jack-o'-lantern out of it. Maybe I'll just catch you up to speed where we are at this moment in time, which happens to be the second day of January, which is always kind of a bittersweet day. I mark it as an anniversary of the passing of a best friend. But I'm actually beginning a new little project here. I've learned a lot, and I've played a lot, and YouTube is a lot of fun. But I do get, with my Ghost in the Gaslight art project, I get a little immersive. By the way, I'm Saul, artist, ghost storyteller, and all-around good guy. I am creative, and I try to fill my life with that. I also try to contribute beauty to the world in any way I can, and I have a lot of passion for that. But I think that sometimes I get so into putting things perfectly together, giving you a wonderful illusion. If you're like me, maybe you like a nice escape sometimes, a way that you can forget the craziness of this world, and it is a crazy world. But I have, in recent years, come to appreciate a lot of the eccentricities of this planet we live on. And at the end of the day, everything is a story. There is another way of looking at a story. Everyone has their own side of the tale. No matter how much you may revile them, no matter how much they may be reviled by the world, there's always something in there. I have, in another life, made a career out of understanding a villain, putting myself in those shoes. Maybe that's in another video, but I do think that there is so much to this world, and you can get so much of it. And I think that we all have our own mission, our own calling. I wouldn't be presumptuous to tell you that I know exactly what mine is. There's too many choices. But I think that it has revealed itself to be something that involves story, vision, and sound. And story for me is outlook. It's the way that the world works. And my whole life, I've been drawing since I was 2. And I think maybe 10 years ago, I started to realize that every time that I painted or drew something, I couldn't just do iconic type images that didn't tell a story, that were just the image in front, just here I am as an image. I always had to put the thing in some kind of setting, some kind of narrative, and generally that thing was a living thing. If it was an animal, if it was a mermaid, if it was the Lone Ranger. Since I was a little kid, it always had to be telling a story, And I think back to when I was growing up, and I was about 2 years old, sitting by my mother's side, and I had some colored pens or crayons, I think, and I would just mimic her drawing, and she'd be encouraging and she'd smile, and I would just kind of keep drawing, and there was nothing else for me at that time. And I learned there were so many other things for me that throughout my life would either enhance my artwork or distract me and pull me away from it. And I think that now that has contributed, all that learning has contributed to various regimes that whenever I see something I want to do or I want to try, I think, how can I incorporate it into this art project that I do? Ghost in the Gaslight, which involves drawing, which involves painting, which involves writing, which involves voiceover, which involves filmmaking or video. Because I don't want to ever be knocked off. I don't want to be derailed from creating and making things, and things that I consider are beautiful things that I want to put into the world. Because let's face it, the world can always use beauty, but it can always reward you, and I think be grateful and delighted to see that you are appreciating its strange beauty, that you aren't necessarily covering up what it is. I think the universe, God's creation, the world, whatever you want to call it, delights in that. It delights in being recognized for the beauty that it is constantly creating. And I think that it is a challenging beauty. I mean, I'm literally just saying that out loud for the first time. I think it is a challenging beauty that in some way needs to be shown. And I'm not sure exactly what all that means. I just feel like it's my instinct in my, 47 years experiencing it. And I very much believe that there's a lot to be learned from beauty, and there's a lot of reward in there. And my mom doesn't really draw or paint anymore. She does a lot of other amazing stuff, but I think that probably seeing her two sons go into that, she felt like her job was done. And it has been the ride of a lifetime. I think it's had highs and lows. I think that creativity, and, I apologize if you're going, what is he talking about in this video? Where is he going? But I feel that this is something I want to kind of get out there, because it's just going to be in there if I just keep like vlogging about any other thing. And I think this is just all a good way to communicate all this. Maybe it's philosophical or something. I think one of the exciting things about this new little Solmanac vlogging project is that you don't know where exactly it's headed, and it just feels very new. So I get to, just take advantage of it, and I think that there is value in sharing this way of seeing the world, because everything's changing, but at the end of the day, we are still human beings. We are still social creatures. We are still pack animals, and we are constantly longing to find other people in our pack. And that person may be in China. They may be in India. They may be in the Arctic. They may be right here in California, crazy California. And no matter what, despite all of the artificial intelligence, all of the breakneck speed that our tech world is going through, we are still going to have that need to connect with each other. And that is one of the most beautiful thoughts I can imagine. And I say this because I've been having more than one conversation. I've actually been having an increasing amount of these conversations with people who are very worried about artificial intelligence. And I think I am one of them. I mean, as an artist, how can you not be? But at the same time, I think it's just going to underscore the need that we have for real things. I think it's the same thing that happened with theater when the movies came. Theater had to kind of work out what it is. The theater community had to just show what they offer. And you did get audiences who are discerning and they go, I want to go see something live. I want to go feel the lights come down and a stage and a live performer with a shaft of light on them. And I want to feel the way that they cast a spell on me through their prowess, through their knowledge of taking the stage and meeting an audience, reaching the very back row. Or I want to go see a film where the lights go down and every kind of media conspires together to bring me a total escape. And it was recorded in a place that had nothing to do with my energy, and I get to see what they've put together. And does it matter to me? This will be the very same thing that someone on the other side of the country will see, or someone on the other side of the century will see. Or I'm seeing it a century after it was made. I mean, both of those things are so inspiring and beautiful. And of course, film hurt theater, and film hurt radio, and then video hurt film. But I think that you still had people who, even when you have digital filmmaking, you still have the people that shoot on film. And of course, it's not as prevalent. Digital video has just changed things. I mean, look where we are right now. Look at what is possible. These things are all very inspiring, and I confess to being both spooked but also inspired by the frame of mind of today's engineers and futurists. The things that they say that, AI will make things easier in the world, and the things that maybe the naysayers, or are they voices of reason, say that AI will do to us. And it is frightening as well. But I do think that everything that AI is replacing is also going to reinvent itself. I do agree with Justine Bateman that we are on the precipice of a whole new kind of, if I look at AI, which is really disrupting the filmmaking world, I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, that is one of the most heralded, most haloed parts of pop culture is the movie making. And it is so displaced by everything that is actually occurring now. And yet, it seems like there were all these problems in the industry that were not strong enough to answer it. and we are seeing how much power the producers have. But I also think, and I know the filmmaking world very well. The cast and the crew, and anyone who worked in there would tell you that even though there were systems that involved hundreds of people, how is it that these people can actually make a life for themselves in, say, a filmmaking town like Los Angeles? How can they buy a house? How can they have all these kids? How can they be in a union? And how can they have this much security doing these little things that they do that at the end of the day are part of an art form of filmmaking? That was always amazing to me. And every time I learned about it, that it was around, I always was like, this can't last. Oh my God, this can't last. And I would say the filmmaking world has undergone so many changes. Every decade, a technology comes out, someone's rendered useless, for lack of a better term. But I don't think we've seen anything on this scale all at once. And that has been a very freaky thing to see. And I've got my own stories for why I am here doing this kind of content creation. I mean, the biggest of them is that I don't need permission anymore to just go and tell the stories that I want to tell. I can just go ahead and make them. I can go ahead and make a painting. I can go ahead and make a drawing, write a story. I can cut it together in a video. I can post it on my Substack, make more long form content, which has been so exciting this last year. And I can make a little mini production film, putting it all together and using voiceover to tell a story and give it atmosphere. I love to play with atmosphere. I mean, look at that painting right there. I mean, to me, that's just everything I seek to do is tell the story, whether it's with the placement of the character in the space or is how the space is lit. I mean, these are beautiful things, and I don't want to be naive here. I mean, who knows? Maybe this outlook ages like milk or something, but I do think that there is a beauty to all this chaos that we're all dealing with. I mean, all the arguments and conversations just regarding artificial intelligence and versus artwork. And it is unconscionable what these AI art programs are doing, stealing artists' work. They're built on scraping the work of artists, which was attained by disingenuous means of making these not-for-profit like search or collection programs that were under the cover of nonprofit or colleges for a few years, and then they just come out and they make these, Mid-Journey programs and DALL-E programs. And I think more and more artists are having to just kind of go, all right, we are kind of losing this. And it is sick to me that these I would say the creators of these programs really went after artists, because I mean, how are artists supposed to really understand this and stand up for themselves? I mean, like, there's no one to organize a movement of fairness, and so it's had to happen on the fly. And I think maybe in some strange way, it's just our karma as artists to learn more about the world we're in and not be so isolated in what we're doing. The last thing I want to do is blame the artists on this. I just think that it is a perfect mess, and we're all in it. And I'm sure you'll hear me say that term a lot, perfect mess. It has helped me sometimes in my life to really, sit back, throw my head back, and just kind of like laugh and remember that at the end of the day, we're just on a little rock in space somewhere, and maybe it means nothing, maybe it is God's will, and I think sometimes it's just more important to keep that in perspective. That's the question, more than these little things like AI, I guess. But this all keeps coming back to why I do what I do, why I feel the hope that I always feel. Maybe I'm smug about it, but it all comes back to the beauty of it all. I have these pieces that are on my shop that I've been working on, and some of them feature my favorite quote. That's why I bring it up. It's not just plugging, but hey, look at that. You see this? This is called Where Mysteries Meet. You see this mermaid with this gaslight here. It's kind of a beautiful, the beautiful paradox, I guess, where mysteries meet. Anyway, my favorite quote is, "The search for beauty being the real secret of life," by Oscar Wilde. I invite every one of you to explore that, see where that takes you in your life. The search for beauty being the real secret of life. So wherever you are, if you're at that job that you always have to show up to, and you wonder why you're there, you wonder what your life is about, and don't forget, and I'm sure you've done this already in some way, but don't forget how important it is to look around and find something beautiful. Find that beauty, like for 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you can. And maybe it leads to something. I know for me that leads to a story idea. And the more that I launch myself out into the world, into life, the more that has helped me, the more that has brought me all these wonderful spirits that visit me, and these strange characters and creatures, and they continue to keep visiting, and I can't wait for what this year is going to bring. I mean, we're only on January 2nd here at the recording of this video, and already I've been making these new plans here. I mean, I just have been making a calendar of this January, and as I'm doing it, I'm just seeing this is an adventure. This is all going to be an adventure, and I've got this as the year here. So what I'm doing is I'm filling out the beginning, and this part is going to be a jam session. I'm going to have a rough estimate of things that I want to have here, but there's going to be some exciting things that I learn from here as I game this out with the diagram I just showed you of the calendar, and then that's going to influence these. I've got the goals to do that all of this is going to lead to, but now I'm trying to listen to what time wants to tell me about this. And it's kind of I'm taking this in a different approach from what I have in the other years, because I really want to collaborate with my future. That's kind of the experiment, and it's very exciting. But anyway, I would be remiss doing the incoming recording episodes of what will be this vlog if I did not kind of go there and really just share the inside of my mind right now. But don't forget what your life is about. Don't forget about the dreams you have, the dreams you had, the dreams you have accomplished, the dreams you still want, and think about how you can go ahead and do that. And for me, when I do all these stories, when I make this art, when I tell a visual tale, when I record a voiceover, when I light a candle and write down my dreams and what my soul wants to do, that is one of the best things that I can do for myself. And here's to a new year, and here's to a new year where we make this happen. And I'm going to make more of these moments, and let's go on an adventure together. I'm looking forward to sharing this part of myself with you in this strange time in which we are. Futurists, be damned. And naysayers of the past, be damned. I love them both. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. Remember to find the challenging beauty out there. Not just the beauty. You might find it's something like a strength you didn't know you had, a strength to look at something again, a strength to see things differently, a strength to find something that you actually thought wasn't there. This is good value, in my opinion. But, I mean, what do I know? I'm just a ghost storyteller. I guess that counts for something, right? If you'd like to know a little more about what I do, or you'd like to experience some of this art I'm talking about, or these stories, well, make sure you check out the link in the description. I've got the Substack in there, which you should absolutely see. It's long-form ghost stories and a lot of exciting stuff that I have planned for that. So depending on when you catch this video, you're gonna get some very interesting stuff there that I think will be worth your time. And then, of course, there's the Facebook community, which is a lot of fun. That's probably my biggest community. Of course, I'm on the IG machine as well. And then I've got my website, ghostinthegaslight.com. And you can also check out those shops if you see fit to support me and what I'm doing. I'd absolutely love that. And I think there's something for everybody somewhere, whether you like, art prints or things to wear or mugs to drink out of that I have designed and based on my art. Please, by all means, come one, come all. Anyways, Happy New Year, you beautiful haunted romantics, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Take care.